Welcome to a world of tranquility and wisdom, where dreams are adorned with gentle whispers and illuminated by the glow of inner peace. Join us on a journey through the enchanting realm of Zen and Buddhism, where bedtime stories come alive with mindful teachings. Each episode will be a sacred invitation to slow down, let go of the day's worries, and embrace the serenity of the present moment. So, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and prepare to embark on a voyage of enlightenment as we embark on our Zenful Nights together. Once upon a time, under a sky tinted with the hues of a setting sun, a young traveler named Maya set out on a journey. Maya was not like other wanderers. She wasn't searching for treasure or seeking to conquer unknown lands. No, Maya was on a quest to understand the very essence of her being, to unravel the mysteries of herself. The path she walked was not just of earth and stone, but also of wisdom and spiritual awakening. The tale of her journey is not just a bedtime story, but a journey through the philosophy of Buddhism, a journey that we will embark on tonight. In the beginning, Maya found herself standing on an expansive, boundless plain. There were no landmarks, no roads, no signs of life, only an open and endless expanse. Maya stood in the middle of this vast openness, feeling a sense of freedom, of primeval intelligence, of being one with the space. Yet as she danced in this open space, Maya began to feel a disconcerting need to define this openness, to give it a name, a form. And so she began to whirl and twirl in the space, creating ripples of form out of the formless. This need to define, to solidify space, marked the birth of the first skandha, the skandha of form. As the open space started taking form around her, Maya felt a sudden wave of confusion wash over her. In the process of trying to define the space, she had lost sight of her oneness with it. She now saw herself as separate, as an I distinct from the space around her. This was a moment of blackout, a sudden collapse of her intelligence. As she woke up from this blackout, she found herself staring at her own creation, the solid space around her, as if she had nothing to do with it. This ignorance, this refusal to acknowledge her role in solidifying the space, marked the birth of ego, the source of all confusion. This confusion, this ego, began to manifest in three stages. First, Maya acknowledged her own separateness, the birth of ignorance. Then she started feeling unbalanced, trying to create a shelter for herself, the ignorance born within. Finally, she began to see herself as an external object, giving rise to the notion of other, the self-observing ignorance. As the ignorance took hold, Maya started to feel the need to possess this newly formed other, to grasp it. She reached out to feel whether the other was seductive, threatening, or neutral, as a way to reassure herself of her own existence. This act of feeling, of trying to sense the qualities of the other, marked the birth of the second skandha, the skandha of feeling. Once she had felt the other, she found herself reacting to it, drawing it in, pushing it away, or being indifferent to it based on her feelings. This automatic reaction, this impulse to respond to the other based on her feelings, marked the birth of the third skandha, the skandha of perception impulse. However, Maya soon realized that these automatic reactions were not enough. To truly protect her ignorance, to ensure her security, she needed to label, to categorize things. She began to use her intellect to label things as good, bad, beautiful, ugly, and so on. This intellectualization, this conceptual formation, marked the birth of the fourth skandha, the skandha of concept formation. Finally, as her intellect began to take over, she found herself caught in a whirlpool of thoughts and emotions. The amalgamation of her feelings, her impulses, and her intellectualization gave birth to the fifth and final skandha, the skandha of consciousness. It was here, in this tumultuous sea of thoughts and emotions, that Maya truly began to understand the complexity of herself. With the birth of consciousness, Maya found herself in a world that was entirely a creation of her own mind. Her thoughts and emotions, her fears and desires, all these formed the landscape around her. She felt like a tiny boat tossed on a stormy sea, struggling to stay afloat amidst the waves of her own creation. Yet she also realized that she was the sea, the storm, and the boat all at once. As she navigated the sea of consciousness, she began to understand the essence of the 5 skandhas. She saw how her need to solidify space gave birth to form, how her desire to possess this form led to feeling, how her automatic reaction to these feelings resulted in perception, impulse, how her need to label and categorize led to concept, formation, and finally, how the amalgamation of all these gave birth to consciousness. As Maya journeyed through her consciousness, she saw herself reflected in every wave, every ripple. She realized that her self, her I, was nothing but a collection of these skandhas, a brilliant work of art created by her intellect. She saw that her ego, her sense of I, was not a solid ongoing entity but an illusion, a mistaken belief. It was not something to be gotten rid of, but simply acknowledged and understood. With this understanding, Maya felt a sense of peace wash over her. She realized that she was not just the boat tossed on the stormy sea, but also the calm beneath the waves. She was not just the dancer whirling in space, but also the space in which the dance took place. She was not just Maya, the traveler, but also the journey and the path she walked. As Maya sat under the starlit sky, she felt a sense of oneness with everything around her. She understood that she was not separate from the world, but a part of it. The journey she had embarked upon was not just a journey of self-discovery, but a journey of understanding the interconnectedness of all things. And so, dear listeners, as we journey with Maya, let us also embark on our own journey of understanding, of self-discovery. Let us learn to see the world not as separate from us, but as a part of us. Let us learn to acknowledge our ego, to understand it, not as a solid entity, but as a collection of skandhas. And most importantly, let us learn to find peace within ourselves, to find the calm beneath the waves, the space within the dance. And as you drift into sleep, remember, like Maya, you too are not just the traveler, but also the journey and the path you walk. Good night, and may your journey be filled with peace and understanding.